Been a long time. Welcome back. Or if you're new to the channel, hello. So I'm here to talk about why this beautiful house of mine has been a money pit that I've thrown 80,000 USD at for the last 3 years. Yeah. So, and I'm house hacking. For those of you that don't know what house hacking is, what it means is I bought a duplex. I live in one unit, and the other unit downstairs, separate apartment, I rent out. I've done it as a long term lease, and I've put it on Airbnb and HomeAway, which is more profitable in the Chicago market. Even doing that, I have netted negative 80K. I'm talking about everything I did to put down taxes, financing this place. I'm talking about repairs and maintenance, which really were very expensive. And I bought this place newly renovated. I shouldn't have had to pay for a new roof, a new HVAC system, and a new board for the furnace. Like, my maintenance and repairs have been incredibly ridiculous.
Okay, so let me do the math, right? So I sketched up this Google Sheets that shows my total home costs. What that entails of are the taxes I pay, the mortgage insurance, because I have an FHA loan, the mortgage, interest, and my principal, and electricity costs, gas, water, all of the home costs, right? All of that is included in this number on a yearly basis, right? Then, yeah, and I didn't have any renters at the time when I bought it. So 2016, I bought the home. They're the cost, right? 2017, I paid a little bit more because I bought the home like midway through 2016. I bought it in like September, August, whatever. That's why the costs are a little bit higher 2017 because it's a full year, right? I had a renter at the time in one of my apartments, and then my dad lived in the other, right? Which he paid no rent. So the long-term renter that I had was a shitty Section 8 fucking tenant that caused $5,000 worth in damages. So even though my rental income was roughly about $1,400 a month, that shit got shot because I had to pay $5,000 in repairs to get it back up to the quality it was before, which sucked. Super pissed. So my rental income was shitty that year, right? So if I take my home cost minus my rental income, that was my total cost, right? Because it's a positive number here. 2018 came around and I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna do Airbnb. So the reason my rental income was negative this year is because I spent $5,000 on an interior designer, right? So it put me in the negative. I made money, but when that expense hit me, I was negative that year. Luckily, I'm in the green now. So that's why that negative is here. So my home costs, pretty shitty last year. This year, it's been definitely better. Home costs were definitely more this year because I had an entire roof to replace that was brand new when I bought the building. But whoever put the roof on there didn't put the membrane all the way up on the sides, and water was going underneath the roof membrane and sitting there, rotting the wood underneath and causing water damage internally to the second floor apartment. So after 2 years of that shit happening, I had to rip and replace the roof, and that was 17 fucking grand. Oh, let's not forget, the HVAC system on the first floor was so inefficient. When I got the ductwork redone for $4,500, there was a brick in the ductwork. And I'm not talking, a regular brick you throw at somebody's window when you're mad at them. I'm talking a cinder block brick in my ductwork. Yeah. So those two major home costs cost over 20 grand together, which really sucked, which is why my home costs this year are so high. But my rental income's been doing pretty good, have to say. But my home still cost 19 grand so far. Yeah, and all of these are negative numbers, by the way. So when I add up my entire home costs minus the rental income I made, yay, I'm still negative almost 80K. in the almost 3 years I've owned the home. That's really shitty. And there's the math to prove it. So, as you can see, I'm very angry about homeownership.
So, after doing the math and reading the book Quit Like a Millionaire, it just came out, it's blown my mind. I've realized that owning a home has been way more expensive than if I would have just rented. I've literally thrown $2,200 a month for the last 3 years at this house. And in the Chicago market, I could have gotten a one bedroom for $1,200 instead and just sat on that extra 1,000 bucks a month and just invested it or put it toward my debt in 3 years. In 3 years, if I would have rented and kept a $1,200 apartment, so I'm saving 1,000 bucks a month times 36 months. 1,000 times 36 is what? $36,000 I could have had. But instead, I was like, oh, I'm going to own a home. Oh, I'm going to house hack and make extra money and pay off my debt. Granted, I have paid off a lot of my debt. But in the long run, I've spent more being a homeowner than renting. So some of those like books out there that talk about real estate investments and how owning a home is a bad investment and this and that. In this case, in my case, it's entirely correct. I should have rented. But then some of you are like, well, Ari, didn't you tell me that like your property value went up by like 35K in the 3 years you've owned it? Yeah, but even if I sold it now, 6% goes to my realtor, right? I'm usually gonna have to pay taxes or do some type of closing credit to the seller, and then taxes. Even though it's been my primary residence, I've been in it, at least 2 of the last 5 years. I still have to pay. Oh no, I don't have to pay taxes on the profit, but I've barely paid down the principal. So even if I sell it at this point and it's appreciated a little bit, after paying taxes and my realtor, I'm gonna net maybe 14K. That's if it actually gets appraised for what it's supposed to be. Yeah, so I'm still negative. I still want my money back, bitch. Still want my money back. So going forward, when me and my husband relocate back to New York City, because we love Harlem, we're gonna rent, and we're gonna rent forever. No, maybe not forever, but like for a long ass time. Because being a homeowner and house hacking, at least with a duplex in Chicago, isn't worth it. It's a negative return on your investment. Unless you plan to stay in it over 10 years. Then it might be good, depending on what neighborhood you're in, and hoping appreciation continues to go up in those next 10 to 20 to 30 years. But I've lost 80K and I'm pissed. Yeah. So when they say renting isn't for everybody, or somebody tries to make you feel shitty and be like, why are you still renting? You're like 30 something years old. Why don't you own a home? Tell them, fuck you. I'm saving my money. You should say it just like that. Be like, fuck you. I'm saving my money. Literally. And people are like, oh, millennials aren't buying houses. This is the fuck why. Who wants to pay for repairs and maintenance and cut your own yard? It's 92 degrees outside. I got my neighbor helping me cut that yard. I ain't going out there in that heat cutting that yard. Hell to the no. No, home ownership is not what it's cracked up to be at all. So, fuck what I said about home ownership last year. It's not for everybody. Go renters. Peace, y'all. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I have a bunch of humorous stuff, and I'm gonna drop another video today. Boom, boom, bonus time. I just read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, and it's literally changed my life. You can see my house is entirely like it's super tidy. I should do another home tour so you can see how tidy it is. But I'm gonna tell you why it's life-changing and it's not about tidying. So stick in for that. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all in a bit. Bye.